So today I want to talk about decentralized electrolyzers and their benefit for the energy transition. And I will show you two of our hydrogen projects which are already in operation. If you have any question, keep them, and then at the end there's, I think, some time for questioning and answers. Okay. Okay, we will start with a short introduction of Green Planet Energy and what are our activities in the hydrogen sector. And afterwards, I will present our view on electrolyzers, and we will put a special focus on how to produce hydrogen. And afterwards, I will present our hydrogen projects, and we will finish with a short summary at the end. So Green Planet Energy, we have been named Greenpeace Energy before. We're a green energy supplier, and we have been founded in 2000 by Greenpeace after the liberalization of the electricity market. So Greenpeace then was looking for an energy supplier which fulfilled all the criteria for green electricity, and they couldn't find one, so they founded Greenpeace Energy. And today, Green Planet Energy has about 180,000 electricity customers, about 30,000 gas customers, and we are cooperative, so we have about 30,000 cooperative members. Everyone can get cooperative member of the company. We have about 200 employees. We grew a lot during the last years. And we made several projects in wind farms, photovoltaic plants, hydrogen projects, and new are also the tenant electricity projects and the heat pumps, which is a new field for us in which we are growing at the moment. The next has been active in the hydrogen sector since 2011, and since then Green Planet Energy helped to shape the market ramp up. Also on the political framework. So the last 10 years we have been active in the hydrogen sector, which is a very long time because the sector is still very new and in development. Together with partners, we have implemented 2 own projects, and beside that we do feasibility studies also for third parties because of our experience for the last 10 years. New is that we are developing a software to control electrolyzers, which also put a focus on the how to produce hydrogen, on the schedule for the hydrogen, because we want to use the electricity, the electrolyzer as a flexibility option in the electricity market. And we also encourage the implementation of other hydrogen projects by purchasing hydrogen from third-party projects. So the map shows our 2 projects, like Windgas Haurup in the north of Germany and Windgas Haßfurt in the south. And there are 3 more projects from which we take the hydrogen and put it in our gas tariff. I will tell something more about that further. And yeah, so we supported Hybridkraftwerk in Prenzlau since 2014, so that the project is a safe company to take the hydrogen. So how do we look on hydrogen projects? We focus in particular on how hydrogen is produced. So we say, this is a word we invented, we say that hydrogen should be produced in an energy transition serving way. So what does it mean? It means that if the operation mode is energy transition serving, it improves the physical and the market integration of fluctuating renewables into an efficient energy system and supports the development of the energy system based on 100% renewables. So as you can see on this picture, they still hear me? Okay, very clever. As you can see here, energy transition serving includes also grid serving and system serving. So the electrolyzer, they should react on the grid on the grid stability, which is grid serving. System serving is also if the production also considers other systems like the transport sector or the industry sector or the gas grid. And energy transition is one step further, so we integrate also the actors and everything which is around in the energy market. So we want to have a look we want that we have an overall look on the system and to produce hydrogen. So what does it mean? It's very theoretically. So let's see what it means for electrolysers. We want that electrolysers are used as a flexibility option and that we use mainly surplus energy to produce the hydrogen. So we need to produce hydrogen in time of wind and solar electricity. We don't want to make space for fossil or nuclear sources. So electrolyzer cannot run 8,760 hours a year because then we have more emissions than we have. We defined different operation concept for our electrolyzers. And the first is, as I said, the reduction of curtailments of wind turbines. So we want to have the surplus energy. And for that, the location of the electrolyzer is very important because there are areas where we have a lot of curtailments and there are areas where we have no curtailments at all. The second one is that we want to integrate wind turbines also without EEG subsidies. So therefore you need a PPA. I don't know if you know what a PPA is. It's like a power purchase agreement. So it's a direct contract with the wind turbine, and so you can take the electricity for a special purpose. The third thing is we want to use electrolyzers for the market integration of fluctuating renewable energies. What does it mean? So we can use electrolyzers to structure our fluctuating generation of electricity to better integrate this electricity in our portfolio for our electricity customers. So that's more, it's a balancing group. We have to think in the electricity market. And because we have a very fluctuating generation and the customers, they use it not that fluctuating, then we produce it. The electrolyzer is used as a structuring method. The fourth one is we developed together with a partner the trigger price model, which can also be looked up here. And it's based on a correlation between the electricity price and the share of renewables in our system. So if we have a low price, electricity price, we have a high share of renewable energies. So the trigger price sets a price every month, or you can also say every week, and you say you want to have about 4,000 full load hours a year, or 3,000, depends on your calculation, and it will calculate the perfect price for you. So you only produce hydrogen in the hours where there is the highest share of renewable energies. And the fifth, which we think is very important, is that electrolyzers are used for grid system services, so for the grid stabilization. That's one thing we already do. So let's have a short look at a study which was made last year by the Rainer Lehmann Institute, and they analyzed decentralized electrolyzers and how they can use to be grid serving electrolyzers. So there are three criteria which they said should be fulfilled, so the electrolyzer is grid serving. First is the operation mode, which should match to the fluctuation renewable energy source, which the electrolyzer is linked to. The second one is the location, and they found out that distribution grids with a high share of fluctuating renewable energy sources and a low demand are the perfect locations for decentralized electrolyzers. Because here we have more curtailments, for example, of wind or solar energy. And the third one is the dimension of the electrolysers. So if you have the perfect spot, you cannot put like 100 megawatts there because it's a distribution grid. So the dimension has to fit to the renewable energy sources. And they found out that grid serving electrolysers are mostly under 5 megawatt. So there can be also bigger ones, but that's what they found. Give you an introduction about the definitions for the European Union. I don't know if you heard about the Delegated Act and if you know the details already. No? Okay. I won't go through the whole political framework because it's very long, but I want to show you the three fundamental principles of this act. So the Delegated Act is discussed for the last 3 years and should already be finished 2 years ago, but they are still discussing, and this summer perhaps they will accept it, but yeah, we don't know. So at the moment it's a draft and the European Parliament has to accept it. So, but there are three principles which are important and which we support already also because yeah, that's what I told before a little bit. So the Delegated Act is doing a definition for green hydrogen in the transport sector. So only on for the transport sector, but we think that the definition will also come afterwards in the other sectors. So the first is additionality. So for the electricity for the hydrogen process should come from newly built renewable energy sources. It's very important that it's new, and the electricity, the renewable electricity plant should come into operation not earlier than 36 months before the electrolyzer. So it must be new, you cannot take an old wind farm. So they must be linked. And the background is that they say because of the hydrogen production, we have a higher demand for electricity, and this should be covered by new generation of renewable energy sources. If we don't do that, then we increase